obviously Charlie and I have thought a few times about why do we do what we do when we don't need the money at all, and we jump out of bed excited about what we're going to do every day. And why is that the case? Well, we get the opportunity to paint our own painting every day, and we love painting that painting, and it's a painting that'll never be finished. And you know, if we had somebody over us that was saying, why don't you use more red paint than blue paint, and we had all the money in the world, we might tell them what they could do with a paintbrush. But we get to paint our own painting, and ours overlap. We have more fun doing it together than we would have doing it singly, because it is more fun to do it with people around you that are pleasant, interesting to be around. And we also like applause. So if that works with us, we say to ourselves, listen, that was not a brazen. If that works for us, why shouldn't it work for a bunch of other people who have long been doing what they like to do, and now in many cases have all the money they possibly need, but still they may have to sell us their business for one reason or another, connected with family or taxes, who knows what else, but they really like what they've been doing. That's the reason, probably the reason they've been so good at it, part of the reason they've been so good at it. So we give them the paintbrush, let them keep the paintbrush, and we don't go around and tell them to use more red paint than blue paint or something of the sort. And we applaud, and we try to compensate them fairly, because though they aren't primarily doing it for the money in many cases, nobody likes to be taken advantage of. So but that has not been a big problem at Berkshire. We have not had compensation problems over time. If you think about it, over 40 odd years, you know, the times when compensation has been of importance is just, practically nil. We don't. We'll just take that. We talked about the the compensation of two investment people. Those people are making below hedge fund standards, below private equity standards, and having a less favorable tax treatment. They'll still make a lot of money. I mean, huge amounts of money. And I hope that they are having a good time doing what they're doing. I think that's why they're here. And I think they'll enjoy it a lot more over the years than going around to a bunch of people explaining why they're worth 2 and 20, even, you know, in the years that aren't so good, and trying to attract new money when other people are making bigger promises someplace else. It's just a different way to live your life. So we want to have our managers enjoying their lives, enjoying their business lives, and we get rid of some of the things they don't like, a lot of them. I was with a fellow the other day that had come from England, and he's got plenty of business problems to work on, and he's spending a significant part of his time talking to investors, which doesn't no good. I mean, I'll be talking to customers or, you know, employees or something, but I think a number of managers may have to spend time talking to lawyers or talking to bankers or talking to investors, and what they really like to do is run their businesses, and we give them the best opportunity to do that. So I can't put passion into somebody about their jobs, but I can certainly create a structure that will take that passion away from them. And Berkshire is a negative art in that way. We focus on not messing up something that's already good. And that's my job, and I think the person that follows me will have a very similar job. We have a bunch of managers nobody else can hire. And, you know, how many companies of size can you say that about, you know, around the country these days? And I think we will retain that advantage for many, many decades to come. It works, and people know that it works within the company. So it's self-reinforcing, and there's nothing like getting proof that what you've designed works to cause you to desire to perpetuate it and to build upon it. Charlie?
Well, and we don't have any standard formulas like they have in some big companies where X% is on diversity and Y% is on something else and Z% is on something else, and everybody is putting all this stuff through a big human resources department. And every incentive arrangement with a key executive is different from every other. So we can't help you with a standard formula. We don't have one.
Yeah, our businesses are also different. It'd be crazy to try and have some master arrangement, that involve return on capital. There's some businesses don't use any capital in our companies, or operating margins, and they're just, we could hire consultants in compensation to come in, and
we never have.
No, we never will. They would want to please the people they were working for and get referred elsewhere. I mean, I will guarantee you that you go into many corporations, if you've got a comp committee, it meets periodically, and the human relations VP comes in and probably suggests a compensation consultant to take. And who does the human relations VP want to whose approval do they want? The CEOs. Whose approval does the compensation consultant want? Well, they want to get recommended elsewhere by the CEO and the human relations VP. So what kind of assistant do you get? You get what I call ratchet, and bingo. We're not going to have any of that at Berkshire. And like I say, it's worked very well. Now, we have people who make lots of money at Berkshire. I mean, we've got numbers in 8 figures, when a page and a half or so. I saw it the other day that would be at $1 million or over, and we'll have more. But it does relate to logical measures of performance in practically all cases, and the amount of time we spend on it is just still. I am the compensation committee for 60 or 70 people, and I'm not overworked.